Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome back to another video here on the main channel. And today I'm going to be talking about the death of funk, or at least the death of funk music, in my opinion. Not funk, but funk, Phonk. So, in today's video, we're not going to really go over the whole, history of funk, but we're just going to talk about like how it evolved, and then why I don't listen to it anymore, and why I'm not doing any more Funk in the Trunk volume mixes, Funk in the Trunk mixes. I did record volume 2, but I just decided, I'm not going to upload it, because it's just a lot of the same stuff that people probably have heard a million times before. There's nothing really new. It's funk from like a year or two ago, and, even when I recorded volume 1 and released that around that time, there were still a couple new things, but, that's kind of when it started going downhill. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So, I guess we'll start when I specifically started listening to funk and how I got into funk. So Mason the Cheeseburger, everyone knows him if you watch my videos. He originally got into funk. It was around 2022 or something like that. Because funk has only really been a recent thing. It's only even really been a thing since 2019 or something like that. That's when the genre kind of blew up. But Mason originally got into it in 2022. I didn't really ever listen to it at the time. I was more into, at that phase, I was kind of more into my big room techno and metal instrumental phase and chill music phase. That's kind of all the stuff I listened to back in 2022. Anyway, so he got into funk, and then it was the summer of 2023, so a year up to that point, almost probably. We got on the conversation of music, and I was like, you need to show me some of this funk shit. And he was like, yeah. So he showed me one song, and I got into it. And then he created a playlist, and then, sent me some of that stuff, and I started checking it out, and I started falling in love with it, just because I don't usually love a lot of rap music unless it's old school rap, but I like that funk uses those background vocal samples of old school rap, bridged with more electronic parts. So I love the whole bridge between electronic and rap. So over that time, I've seen funk evolve into what it is today. And I kept listening to it. I've seen the stage where there was the whole classical funk and Tetris funk thing. There was Mexican funk. There was even a Planka Nightmare remix. If you don't know who Planka is, they're an experimental, I guess you can call them experimental, chill, synthwave. I don't know what to call them. I just call them an electronic artist, because I don't know what they really are. They make all kinds of music. So we were listening to them around the time we were also listening to funk. And it was around, 2023, so for that whole summer and for that whole fall, and just for that whole rest of the year, really, really into funk. It became one of my favorite genres of music. I've never really listened to any specific artist. I just liked the way the genre sounded, so that's why I listened to it. And, well, 2024 comes around. This is when the funk is still kind of good. This is kind of when the Brazilian funk starts as well. Because before, up to that point, it was just funk was just basically, you already kind of had different subgenres, but it's You already kind of had different subgenres, but they also kind of had, they sounded like funk. They sounded like funk, with the basic funk snare drum and bass drum, and sometimes it had the rap vocals to them. You had more melodic drift funk. You had more dark funk. You had all that sort of stuff. You even had like a couple like liminal sounding funk songs too, like this one song I found called Acid Dream, and just like it sounds like this really liminal like funk sounding song. And speaking of which, I actually played that song in volume 1. More of an example of like a darker sounding funk song is Scary Gary. I played that at the beginning of volume 1. Of course, the classics like Metamorphosis, Hen Sun, Flare, more melodic stuff too. But funk in like 2023, and even like 2022, even like when I wasn't listening to it, but I heard it was really peak. It was really, really good. And even up to like early to mid 2024, it was still kind of good. So that brings us, to that point. This is where we kind of notice that there's bad funk coming out, but also at the same time, we know that there's still a lot of good stuff. So we still see, especially me, I still see funk's like potential. I still see funk's potential and, still being like one of my favorite genres up to that point. So mid 2024, that's when we kind of start seeing the bad stuff start to pop up. Of course, we had the origination of like Brazilian funk, and then there was some of it that was really, really good. Especially there was like some melodic stuff. Like there was this one song by this one artist, I think it was like called Glory or something. It sounded really melodic, but it sounded really good. And a couple other songs like that. But this is around the time where funk started, going really, really downhill. But I still listened to it up until like, I don't even know, like at least like October last year. But basically, this is where funk starts to pretty much sound not like funk. I don't know how to explain it, because it's just basically a distorted bass drum now with, let's see how distorted we can make our bass and our synths, and let's see how distorted we can also make our samples. And, well, that leads us to basically what funk is today. And how I can explain it is, let's make the bass drum distorted as possible, the bass as distorted as possible, and let's have a sample that's really distorted as well, that loops throughout the whole, I don't even know if I want to say the whole entire song, but they egregiously now use loops. Especially like with samples, they use it to a point that it gets so bad. And it's not even like the old school rap funk samples anymore. It's just like any sample, and it's bad. I can't even stand anymore. I can't even call it original funk anymore. And it's really sad, because funk was one of the genres I used to cherish and love and listen to, and it was really, really, really short-lived. It was really short-lived. And, I wish I could say that I still listen to funk, but I don't anymore. I can't. It's not that good. I don't know if it'll ever go back to the way it originally was. And, well, me and Mason, the cheeseburger, both, we don't listen to Phonk anymore. We've moved on to other things because it's just not good at all. Especially those loops. Those loops get on my nerves. Those loops are so fucking annoying. I don't even know, like, why. I don't even know, like, some of these songs, I don't even know if you can call them a song, because they're just that bad. They're just that bad. And that's also the reason why I just haven't uploaded any more Phonk in the Trunk volume mixes, because when I did start recording them, that's when everything started going to shit and going downhill when it, in terms of Phonk, and that's why I recorded, like, volume 2 recently, just because I wanted to, you know, maybe upload it, but, you know, I don't think I'm gonna even upload that volume, and I was gonna record, like, 4 more volumes, but I'm not even gonna upload it, because there's really no point. People probably don't even listen to Phonk anymore, and it's like, you know, what's the point of just, you know, if no one's gonna listen, because it's all the older stuff, because that's the only thing that's good anymore about Phonk is just the older stuff, and even that gets old now, and yeah, so it's really sad to see, the whole downfall of Phonk. It's also kind of happening not as, like, hard or crazy of a downfall than Phonk is, but also, just, I guess another example, I'll just make another video on this, but another example of maybe a genre that would, maybe is kind of falling down is big room techno, maybe. Like, it's definitely not falling it down as hard as Phonk, but, like, I wouldn't say it's that big of a downfall, because there's still really good big room techno out there, but it's definitely not as good as, like, the 2022, 2021, and even, like, the 2020 big room techno. People are trying to, like, incorporate, like, elements of, like, dance pop into their techno, and it's making it sound so trash, and that's why I stick to, like, underground, like, acid trance or techno now, just because, yeah, I like a big room techno song every now and then, but it's not really that much good new stuff anymore. A lot of the good new, like, things right now is, like, tech house, and tech house is really starting to become popular, but that's a whole nother video. I don't even know why I'm going on this tangent. I'll just talk about that, like, in a whole nother video. I'll just make a whole nother video about that, or sometime soon or something. But, well, that's the whole video on the state of Phonk and, well, its downfall. So, with that being said, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and, well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.